Welcome in to the Pigskin Project YouTube channel. I am Matt, joined today with Ben. Today, linebackers. Uh, once again, the closing stretch, all bulk recorded here today, but be re-released, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But we're hitting linebackers. If you haven't seen corners, go check it out. But Ben, I know I have asked you this, but how are we?
I am doing great. Celebrated the Michigan title run. Yax is the GOAT. Uh, but we're doing well. Excited to
You had
get
to
into
shout this
linebacker.
out because we're talking. You have the two Ohio State guys at the top, right? Is this?
Exactly. I had to, right? I had to. Yax is the GOAT. Complain all you want about money getting invested into college basketball and transfers as if we're not paying top recruits millions of dollars. Anyways, I don't care. Didn't ask. Here we are. Go blue. But excited to get into linebackers here.
What a domination by the Big Ten.
Pure domination.
Pure domination.
Hey, better conference. What can I say?
What can you say?
Oh,
Nothing close
let's
here in
check
basketball.
Michigan. Michigan's playing really quickly. Now we're going on a tangent. Michigan's playing Denver in the Frozen Four, right? Well, they played Denver in the Frozen Four day. I don't know.
The hockey?
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Did Michigan beat Denver? Is Michigan moving on? I don't know. It's gone to a shootout. 3-3. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyways.
I don't know when this is gonna release, but the fans probably know who won the championship game. You said the Frozen Four, so it's like
The Frozen Four. Yeah.
Good shout out. Good shout out. Michigan hockey. It's the Big Skin Project. Who saw it coming? But into the linebackers,
yes.
some clarifications. You have Arvell Reese here. I do not. If you want my thoughts on Arvell Reese, I have him as a hybrid edge, kind of 70-30 edge off-ball linebacker. I think Ben is going to hit the off-ball linebacker pretty hard, so I'm not going to have to reiterate what he says on a guy like Reese, but if you want my thoughts on Reese, it is in the edge rankings. And then we kind of have the same top guys, but Ben, who was someone you wanted to shout out here before we get into the synopsis of each player?
Yeah. So there's two guys that missed the cut for me. Oh my goodness, I apologize. There are two guys that missed the cut for me. One being Red Murdoch out of Buffalo. I the best way I kind of described it to you guys in the chat is like this guy is just violent in the run. Like anything involving run fits, identifying the run, even being a good blitzer, getting off blocks, violent hands, like he excels at. But he couldn't cover a sedated sloth. Like anything in the run game is just like not there at all. Like I don't trust him in zone. I don't trust him in man. Which like he's the polar opposite of like my linebacker 6 in this class. And then the other one is like a weird player. I didn't know if I wanted to put him in the safety group. I didn't know if I wanted to put him here. I ended up putting him here. He's going to play like this. I call it Viper role. I think is more commonly known as the Rover role. The Viper terminology comes from an old Michigan scheme. That's why I call it that. But Kendall Daniels, I love this guy. How could I not? Again, he fits perfectly like into the archetype of player that I like. Like he's very big. He has smooth hips. He has a very quick trigger, especially in zone runs. Tracks the ball way better than what you would think in zone coverage, and is a great blitzer and like has a really good IQ. Like I think it was against it's either Texas Tech or Oklahoma State, where like he sniffed out like a screen pass that was just phenomenal stuff. But the major concern for him is change of direction because he's a high hipped guy. Major long speed concerns. I think he runs like a 4.7 or something like that, and that's why he wasn't excelling at safety his first go around at Oklahoma State. And then just tackling for a guy as big as him, I think his like missed tackle percentage was in like 18, 19, 20 range, which you don't like to see. But just in terms of like betting on like this Rover Viper position, like I'm all here for it. There'll be someone in this class, or there'll be someone in every class that I fall in love with that can fit that position really well. It's Kendall Daniels this year. Can we figure it out? But he was so much fun. Did you watch any of these? Either of these two guys?
You put me on to Daniels. I'm not
early on in the process, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I kind of note him, but it's like he's nothing more than like he is draftable, but
yeah,
it's day 3. It's day 3 at best.
Yeah.
Like
if sure.
He'll be in that, fighting to be above the 200s level draft pick. I think he's a fun. I don't know about the I'm looking at the beast here. Just like it's funny to see like Daniels is a linebacker 17, the guy above him, Harold Perkins.
Yeah,
those are the
sure.
two guys thinking about like, in the 5th round. It's like those are two polar opposites. It's fun to think about. But guy I wanted to shout out from your alumni, Aiden Fisher. I just wanted to Aiden Fisher has played a ton of football the last 3 years at a winning organization by the name of Kurt Signetti. And just a very like broad, upright player, but like and again the athletic deficiencies like run white boy run are really like shown, but man, he's just such an intelligent and always in the right place and finds the football linebacker that I think there's going to be a positional coach like a linebacker that interviewed him at some point or another, and it's like and just getting him in the room, and he's just an intelligent player and makes everybody better. Just an additive piece. I'm very excited to see where he goes because I think he was my favorite part of Indiana football this year, even with like the Heisman winning quarterback, and Omar Cooper is someone that I really love. But Aiden Fisher was someone that there's no chance he can make the top 6. But man, is that a great football player that I'm just willing to bank on if you get him in your doors.
Do you know what he like when watching him? He reminded me of like Nakobe Dean-esque player, like a guy that is just going to excel because he is just so football smart. Like he might be lacking in the athletic area, but he has such good football character, instincts, and IQ that like he'll be fine. Again, he's actually I don't think he'll be as good as Nakobe Dean, but like he was Nakobe Dean light, and like I got shades of Nakobe Dean when watching him.
I mean, and he played a ton of special teams as well. So I think like when you just mix the toughness, intelligence, and special team ability, those are the linebackers that get drafted. Like that just will play. Somebody is going to draft him, and I'm entertained to see like how he makes a team better on likely day 3, but just climbs the ranks because this player just continues to do that. Just the Indiana mantra, the Signetti mantra, where it's just the production over potential, and just keep working and keep working. So, my number 6, going a little off the radar here, TCU's Caleb Earlham's Orr.
Yeah.
So, whoa, as an athlete, like that was my first thought when watching him, and I think everything else needs to kind of come together. But his twitch and lateral ability, it just flashes each down. It's not like it's not like an inconsistent like, oh, you flashed it here and no, it's every instinct. I see an athlete that is just willing to play on an NFL field. I think he has good coverage when man matching against backs, good zone field when covering like the tight amount of space. But the limitations are really felt in his physicality and his play recognition. that is the stuff that I am very hesitant on. He tries to what I like to call shortcut plays, where he'll kind of leave assignments to kind of freelance and make the plays, and you're the athlete to do it. So I get why, but there are too many times where someone's cleaning up what you left on a mess, or it turns into a bigger play. But
Yeah.
he was someone that, again, like we talk about, box checking, like he just continues to check all the boxes. Like I think the length is good enough. The athlete is definitely worth the price when you think about like, because I have the top five for me are probably top day two players, and then you get into kind of a spattering of maybe this guy's in round three, depending on positional
Yeah.
need. But he was my favorite of the best of the rest in a way. But
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know a whole lot about him, to be frank. I just know he's a good athlete, but didn't get a chance
he was
to,
the
to really
identity of the
dive.
TCU defense this year. Him along with
Mm,
Bud Clark. Like I
I
think
was
those
gonna say,
guys.
yeah. Yeah. So my sixth linebacker is Kyle Lewis. He is again like the polar opposite of Murdoch, right? So when we talk about Murdoch and we're like, we love everything that you offer in the run game, but you just can't cover anyone. It's the complete opposite. Like I think this guy's going to be a great like pass down back because he has really really good coverage ability. Um, he has good instincts to be able to jump routes. I think he has smooth hips to really be fine to cover running backs more specifically. I think he has some athleticism to like he can match up with some tight ends. We'll get into a little bit of the reason why I have hesitancy in that. He's a foreign tackler. Like he wraps up. Like
Yeah.
when he puts his mind to it, like he's bringing you down. Like I don't have much of a concern about his ability to tackle at all. And he does shoot gaps hard, which is awesome. But the downside for him is he's just a small player. He's 6 feet tall, which kind of gives me a bit of a hiccup when I'm thinking about you matching up against like these elite high level tight ends. The body size concerns me a little bit. I'm worried that you might get boxed out. Only time will tell there. And then he just gets moved in the run game. Like he just gets swallowed up. He has no anchor at all to be able to do it. And then he bites on like fakes and RPOs like quite often, and it's kind of disgusting. Like there, I'm sure there'll be a time, if he ever gets real NFL playing time, that the linebacker coach will stop and rewind and watch the play 5 times of him taking 5 steps forward in an RPO before realizing that it's actually a pass. But he was a fun coverage linebacker. But again, he has some real rundown deficiencies.
So I'm very happy you had him listed. I have no idea what this player is. I have no idea what he brings. As
He could be a safety. Like
to it. Yeah,
I think he could be a safety. Yeah.
That's exactly like there is just so much question mark with this player. Like he is. I don't think that combine number is fake. I think he is 220. Like and even
Yes.
then, it's like even if he's like beefing up, he's like 215. Like
Yeah.
but he steals the show at the Senior Bowl and has this rise since 2026 started. He had a really good, finish to the season before opting out of the bowl game. But no, it's again, it's too hyper specific for me. Too much. There's just too much for
I
me
understand it. Yeah.
where it's like I only see you as a dime player. There's not like again because of the size. I think there might be special teams upside, possibly, but like the short area, suddenness is shown and things like
Yeah.
that. But it's like how durable really are you gonna be? Are you going to play at this and be able to keep all this, this dynamic athleticism? And even then, like I think there's better athletes even bigger than him at the top of this. So I'm very interested to see where he goes. Again, I left him off just because the outlier at this position. No. I can teach.
Yeah.
I can teach someone like Erlam Zor to learn how to be physical and and have the athletic, the dynamic athletic ability. But like Lewis, it's how much bigger can you get if I'm
Yeah.
not going to take away from your coverage skills. That makes sense. So very
Yeah.
entertained by what he is and where he gets drafted. Who was the guy at Ole Miss last year? Was Pooh-Paul? Pooh-Paul was small, right?
Yep.
But
Poo Paul. Yep.
he wasn't this like from a weight perspective. He was just tiny. He was just short, right? If I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
mistaken. So
He was just short. I mean, same with the Iowa kid, Jay. Oh, what's his name? The Iowa kid from last year. I
started
forget his
with a
name too.
T,
But
right?
did it start with a T?
My
Look at
oh
us.
Higgins, Jay Higgins, Jay Higgins, Jay Higgins.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Jay
yeah, yeah,
Higgins.
yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing. But yeah.
Not to be confused with Iowa
Anyways.
State's Jaden Higgins. Let's get into our top 5/6 for you. I
Yeah.
have Josiah Trotter out of Missouri at 5.
Hmm.
Kind of fits with his teammate Zion Young at edge. Very physically filled out. I think I would project him as a Mike. Just like what his run setting ability. He does his best moving towards the ball carriers downhill. He's looking to lay some boom. I put it in all caps. And when blockers get up to his level, he's not giving up any space. I think he's got strong hands to deal with that stuff. But the concerns hinge on, like, what are you in coverage? What is your awareness in coverage? If that can get to a place where it's a consistent plus of a player, because I think he's physically built to be a guy, and he's only 21. He's gonna have a recent birthday right before the draft, so you think about that. But I think he's a physically filled out frame. He's a big dude, really good in the run, but is the coverage stuff, and it didn't really test anything. So
No.
but then again, I think all this stuff is pretty minuscule when you think about what he is as a player. But what were your thoughts on Trotter?
I hate to do it because it is like such.
He looks like a
an
Trotter,
easy,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it is such like an easy one to one
Yeah.
comparison to do it. But like he is just so much his brother and his dad, his brother Jeremiah Trotter, from just a couple years ago. But he's bigger than his brother, like, which is good.
He feels
But
more imposing than his brother, is the way that I like to
yes,
put it.
yeah, yeah. He's more imposing. And again, he just feels bigger than Jeremiah Trotter Jr. It's hard to be more imposing than your dad. Uh, but yeah, I mean, he's a Trotter. Like, and I hate to do that to him and like to simplify it
Do
like
it again, Philadelphia.
to that much, but it would be so much fun. Just a family reunion. But yeah, my linebacker 5, which I would be shocked if he's not on your list, Anthony Hill. I liked Anthony. Is Anthony Hill on your list?
Oh yeah, he's number 3.
Number 3. Yeah, he's oh, okay. Yeah, he's ooh. Okay, sorry. I'm just doing the math in my head. But yeah, he's number 5 for me. He is your prototypical size out of linebacker, but he's a much better athlete than what your prototypical size linebacker is. He does a really, really good job of taking on your blocks. He has strong pursuit. And he has lateral agility to jump gaps. Like it was fun to see him like jump the A gap to the B gap and like really like fill up a running lane when he recognized what was going on. And he has all of like the tools to be really, really good. And he's young. He's 20 years old. Correct? That sounds right. That's what I have
21,
listed.
yeah.
21. So like in a position where like a lot of these guys are a little bit older, a little bit more mature. He is a heck of an athlete with really, really good size that flash some really fun stuff. and you hope that as he gets more experience under his belt, he can put more of that stuff together. The big thing for him, and it was, or I guess the two big things for him, he got stuck looking in the backfield. Like it was infuriating. It goes back like the quick stand stuff of it all. Like he just got caught looking way too long in the backfield. And then the other thing right now, I think he can only do spot drop coverage. He has the athletic tools to develop more, but he just didn't really show the ability to do that currently outside of spot drop stuff. And now we're just getting nitpicky. Like he tackles a little bit too high. Like get that shoulder into the thigh, into the waist. He doesn't do that as often. He tackles a little bit more at the chest. But again, he's a fun project in terms of just his size and athleticism.
Yeah, rarely with Texas players do I lean into my biases. But with this player, I do make the exception just because I feel like from the moment he got onto the campus and got onto the football field, like he was spying Jalen Milroe in Tuscaloosa, and he kept
Yeah.
up with him. Like just the lateral agility, the versatile athlete in him, the range, the speed, the physicality, all of it is on display when he is moving, and it's just like when it's the best way I could put it is like when it's easy and simple for him to just run around, make the play, find the ball. I think you could get the best stuff out of him, but it just like you said, he can be late to react stuff. Not an overly instinctive player. I think he only had like one really instinctive play over this course of this
Mm-hmm.
last season. It was a very down season in 2025. Still makes like All American team, but like 24 is where all the stuff came from. The good stuff came from.
Yeah.
But as a linebacker, but like he had a play against Georgia where he has that interception, and it's like it's thrown right to him. So it's like it again, not a very instinctive like ball coverage player and things like that. But I rarely do I go out of my way to kind of project, but like thinking about, I want to see him next to like Warner or Al
Mm.
Shair, or like the guy I kept coming back to was Devin White at with Tampa Bay, where it's like you're next to Levante. So Levante is going to ease the weaknesses that you have as an instinctive player, and he's going to mask the deficiencies, and it's kind of just going to let you be this high end Sam that can just run around in space, roam, be this impressive athlete, this imposing athlete, be a good blitzer. From the
Yeah.
moment he was on the field against like I said with Milroe, you felt his presence. I keep going back to that game again because it was such a big game for Texas, but again, that was the same field that Caleb Downs was a true freshman on, and he was the best player, the best true freshman on the field. So I always go
Yeah.
back to that game. But I'm interested to see where he goes. I think landing spot really means a lot for this player, and I've seen a ton of people that are completely like, I don't want to say completely out, but just don't see it, and I get that. I think he needs to be, in the nicest way. It's like a coddled kind of situation. Like
Sure.
I don't want someone to just drop him in and say, "Here's the green dot, kid. Here's the top 50th pick. We project you as a Mike." That's gonna be very overwhelming for this player just watching him in the final year. But I think if you kind of deploy him as this weak side backer, strong side backer, kind of your number two, and just let him roam his area, roam his half of the field, roam his space, I think he's really good. And so that's why I had him three. Like again, just the speed, the length, the athlete in space, too much to deny. And that's why CJ Allen's four. Like that's why, because when you think about Allen, it's my quick synopsis, like smart, decisive player that can play for a long time. Has great feel for the position, diagnoses the run well, doesn't fall for fakes in the pass game, never is out of place when trying to find the football. Tackling took a great step over the course of his career, but his range and athleticism will hold back from from a real deal like ceiling to me. I think there's a lot of good in CJ Allen, but I think the athlete I hold back on the range to be this, you know,
Sure.
imposing Mike backer. Like I think he's gonna play Mike. Like he's a green dot all through and through to me, but just overall, I have the hesitations on the athlete ever be. It's similar to the corner conversation that we just had. Like it's, I'm gonna swing for the ceiling. I'm gonna swing for the athlete, even if C.J. Allen feels very easy and very like it's very simple. Like he's gonna
Sure.
be a good player, and it's why like because they didn't get Kobe Dean, there's a lot of mocks putting the Cowboys with C.J. Allen. Like I get that, I understand it.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on C.J. Allen?
No, I really loved CJ. Really quickly too, but before we get into CJ Allen, I just have to ask, and if you guys saw the screen colors, because I was googling something, is there a tradition of zero at Texas, or is this just like something new, and it just so happened that it was overshowed directly into Anthony Hill?
There's just something going on. Yeah, there's
Okay. I didn't know it was like a single digit thing at LSU, but like it's. I didn't know if it was a coincidence that it was overshown directly into Anthony Hill wearing the number 0. So, no. Anyways, CJ Allen, I had to ask. No, CJ Allen is my third linebacker in the class again. Please caveat, Arvell Reese is a linebacker for me. I think I'm one of the only people in the entire world that still has Arvell Reese greatest linebacker, not an edge. So in actuality, depending on how you view Arvell Reese, CJ Allen would be linebacker 2 on my board. He's 3 for me for the time being. I think he was quick. He had quick run diagnostics, and it was a really great tackling. Had the athletic ability to cover tight ends and running backs, and I think he showed the ability to go sideline to sideline when asked. Again, I don't think he's quite like this upper echelon of athlete, but I think he's a functional athlete to get the job done very well. I think he was a great leader, which really showed. And he had some fun interior blitzes. I don't know if you saw any of that, but like it was. When it occasionally popped up on film, it had me juiced. For him, the big thing from it's gonna come to size for him. He's gonna be another one of your smaller linebackers, which again, it's you have the athletic ability to cover tight ends. Are we gonna get bullied by a tight end? Only time will tell. But the big thing for him is he struggles taking on and getting off blocks from offensive linemen at the second level. And then he occasionally misses zone coverage assignments where like some person will wander into the edge of his zone and it just for some obscure reason he just does not recognize it. And it doesn't happen a whole lot, but it happens and it's still something to bring up. But I just think you're getting a very just solid football player out of this guy. Like I don't think he, again, as you said, like I don't think he's like stand out like this is what he does at an amazing level. But I just think you're just getting a very, very solid linebacker at most levels. And I think this is one of the positions that you can kind of just hang your hat on and say like I'm just good at everything, and that's why
we all hate the term
linebacker 2-3.
We all
yeah.
That's what he is, right? Like there's not a lot of imagination with the player, but that's okay. Yeah. If I have one thing to add on his concern, like the pop in the hands, kind of concerns me a little bit as a run fitter, like when blocks get up to him, but yeah, there's not much outside of like. How rangy of a player are you inevitably going to be when it gets even faster? But never felt overwhelmed. That's the other thing.
Exactly.
Like, compared to Hill, like I think Hill at times this year, it felt like a lot. But so we have 2 left, 3 for you because of Reese.
Yes.
Let's do the Jacob Rodriguez thing. I have him at 2.
Yeah. I have him at 4 in between Anthony Hill and CJ Allen.
Yeah. So Rodriguez out of Texas Tech, he's just a very instinctive ball hunting player, and the short area, quickness, suddenness, recovery, it all shows from like his 3-cone. That was something that I was like going into it. I'm like, I'm interested to see what this guy is as an athlete, because in the short area, I think he's very, very good. Um, the biggest thing that you're betting on is the turnover, like splash play production
Ball
real.
production.
7 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions. I do, just because I think he has, again, it is the Big 12, but I think he really learned how to punch out the football and set himself up as a tackler to where he can really find the football. And then interception wise, I think he's just finding the football, being where the football is. Ball production is going to come when you're in the right places at the right time as a linebacker. The big concerns are like, how physical is he beyond the line of scrimmage? I think when he's getting downhill into the hole, I see it. But overall, when it's beyond that, I do have my limitations and concerns. The athletic deficiencies are real, even if he did test pretty good at the combine. Older player, 5th-year player, switch positions, if that means anything. Loses, and again, like where the athletic stuff really shows up again is beyond the line of scrimmage. Like within the 10 yards, I think he's great, but he'll lose the angle battle with runners on the edge, and it's hard for him to get really back in the phase. And runners who are creative find the cutback lanes. But the reason I have him this high is just because I'm very interested in if the turnover production is real. And I do think it is real, and I think those splash plays really show. And I do think he's a Mike as well. I do think he is. He projects as a Mike guy. Do you disagree?
No, I think he's a fine Mike. It's hard for me to be just super high on him because of his glaring. For me, his glaring issue is like point of attack defense. Like he's a smaller guy, and he gets moved. Yeah. It's quite ugly. And like even his like small size even like kind of shows up when he wants to tackle. Like, he has 42 missed tackles in 2 years. It's just like flat out bad. It's funny because you said he changed positions. He was a quarterback before, obviously. I think that's widely known at this point. But he feels like he started out at like a safety. And it feels like you took a safety and you dropped him into the center of a defense. And like that's I don't know if I don't know if linebacker is the home for him. And it's a lot of
okay.
It's not quite to the level of Kyle Lewis, but like I have genuine like the same concerns really kind of scares me because of just again his ability as like a point of attack defender is just really shows.
I think he sees it better than Lewis, at least in that.
Yeah, I think he sees it better than Lewis, and that's why he's higher. And his coverage stuff flashes even more than Lewis.
Yeah.
So the deficiency is not as glaring, and the top level stuff is better. But again, the point of attack stuff really is a big concern for me, especially if you're going to be in the middle of my defense. I don't want my Mike linebacker to be struggling with point of attack stuff. Yeah. But it's so hard for me to have him any lower because of all of like the amazing stuff he shows as like a coverage linebacker. That's how he ends up here for me. And it's like very like this big glaring issue, but a lot of good stuff in coverage.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see the player in the same way, but I think I weigh different things from you. Like I think that's the easiest way to kind of put it, but
yeah, absolutely. So, and now, I mean, we move on to everyone's linebacker one at this point. I guess do you have anything more to say on J-Rod before we move on?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Now we move on to what is consensusly the linebacker one in this class. Sonny Styles. This dude's an athletic freak of nature. Did you see the photo of him like standing next to his dad that like kind of blew up after the combine?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because everyone's like, okay, it makes a lot of sense why like this dude is like jacked is what he is. Again, he's just a freak. He's a large, huge dude and moves like very, very well for how big he is. He's very, very strong, has the ability to like actually stand up offensive linemen, which was awesome. The big concern for him going into 24 to 25 was going to be all of the coverage stuff because with his size, there was all of this really great there's all this really great run stuff that he did, but it's like, well, the coverage stuff could get better. And it got a lot better. Like it's not really much of a concern for me. I think his athletic ability really allows him to be able to move sideline to sideline and cover ground very, very quickly. And he has very fluid and clean hip movement, which is great. And he has some very, very good football IQ, especially within the pre-snap of everything. He was so much fun to watch. The one big thing for him is like the change of direction could be better, but again, we're nitpicking. He's a top 5 player in the class.
The biggest thing I saw was like he just plays tall because he's tall. Like that was something that
groundbreaking.
That kept flashing for me where it's like he would arrive at tackles, like he right at that point of contact, he's just high, and it's like, oh, you're tackling like the Rutgers receiver who's 5'11". Like that's what happens. But
yeah,
no, it's S tier athlete, elite size for the modern linebacker. As a lateral mover, dissector of the offense is what I like to call him. It just shows up down after down this season. I think Patricia was great for these guys. Like truly, I think Matt Patricia has found his calling with this defense and specific set of players. I think he got these guys in a place where they are really, really intelligent in making those plays. He has great punch in the run game against blockers, can dislodge, like the core strength really shows up in the balance when he dislodges. And then just consistent play finishing. The only hesitance I had was like, oh, I want to see you run the seam as the cover 2 defender. I want to see that. And I want to see you in disguise a little bit more often, but it's not that he can't do it. I think from the limited reps that we saw from him, sometimes Ohio State would big boy, and in those games like middle of the season, like against Illinois, they just big boyed Illinois. Like there wasn't too much going on from a disguise coverage standpoint, but I think he'll do that well as well. But my biggest thing with Styles, like if I had any concern, it was kind of just plays tall, and that's just naturally what it's going to be. I have a question for you, because like this is the player, this is the linebacker. Do you think he ever achieves being Fred Warner?
Oh, that's so hard.
If he's taken at 3 by Arizona, that's what you have to like hope for, because these guys, these linebackers, off-ball linebackers, don't go this high anymore. Can he become Roquan even? If Roquan was a top 10.
I think he could become Roquan.
Like
I definitely think he could.
Roquan's a multiple-time All-Pro. Like it's such a fun player to discuss, because I think there is this. Like, if you draft him this high, it's this same thing as like the Downs conversation. It's like you better feel very confident he's going to achieve that. Like he's going to be that, and that's a lofty place to be. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's some really tough expectations. I think he could be Roquan. Again, it's tough because Roquan is like such a good player. there's tiers to it though, even at the top. Like Fred Warner is like Roquan is
above
a
and
great
beyond. Like he
linebacker,
is
as you
above and
said. Yeah,
beyond.
yeah,
I've seen
as
that
you said, like
comped.
Roquan, multiple time All Pro Bowler. Like Roquan is very, very, very good. But there's another level to it with Fred, and it's just hard to have anyone live up to like that expectation set, right?
Yeah.
So,
At what point do you think he got like? Because he's a moved safety. Like at what point? Because they moved him during the spring practices before last year's national championship.
Yeah.
So like, at what point were they like, "Oh, you're too tall. Like we have to put you at linebacker at this point." Like, did he get a growth spurt from that like 2023 that little like run where it's like, "Whoa, man, whoa,
Whoa, slow down!
holy
Yeah,
god, you're
yeah,
huge!" Like,
yeah.
I thought that was funny to think about because it's like there's just no way that was ever like this guy was a safety. He's huge.
He's massive. He's massive.
But yeah,
He's one of like those guys that like it like I don't want to say it sucks. Like he was one of those guys like very early on in the process where I'm like, I'm so much higher on Sonny Styles than the rest. And now it's like everyone caught up to it. Yeah. And then like everyone else caught up to it. And I'm like, oh, well, it's not as fun now.
yeah.
Like I
got
remember
that
like very early on.
I got that like in February, like mid-February before the combine. It was like, huh, Sonny Styles is the #1 player on this board. That's interesting. I don't think you're wrong, but that's interesting. And then
Yeah.
he ends up as, let's see here, he ends up as my 3rd player.
Yeah. It was just it's tough, but
yeah, behind only Love and Reese.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because all three, like in my big board, it's all three of those OSU guys. It's bang, bang, bang. They're all back to back to back. It's all three of them. Order them in any way that you want.
Didn't want to play
I couldn't care less. So yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, on to my linebacker one. Get the monkey off my back here. He's a really good pass rusher. If you want to know more about that, go and look at the edge rush ranking. He's really, really good at it. We talked about it. Just go watch that. Again, I second everything Matt could have possibly said when he had talked about Arvell Reese as a pass rusher. The only reason he's an off-ball linebacker for me rather than your edge is because I thought his run stuff looked better when he was playing as an off-ball linebacker than what he did as an edge. And that's how he finds himself as an off-ball linebacker compared to the edge. I thought his run instincts and like his ability to like pop when he's coming downhill just flashed so much more when he was an off-ball linebacker and when you gave him 5 to 6 yards to just run downhill. And I thought his most effective pass rushing snaps came as a blitzer and as a 3rd down guy compared to like a full-time edge rusher. So that's why he's again as the off-ball stuff, and he has a arsenal of pass rushing moves. He again, I can't speak enough towards his ability to do that, and has like all the athletic tools to be able to be a full-time edge. There's no knock. I know I'm the like basically the lone person that has him here. The as much as I can sing his like praise as an off-ball linebacker because his run stuff is the best at an off-ball linebacker position. The one thing that you have to worry about him playing off balls, he doesn't have a lot of good zone like IQ. He has just like really bad eyes when asked to do anything in zone and to like actually like cover someone, and that's why you're like, I don't know, but like I truly think you cannot go wrong with whatever you end up doing with him. If you decide you draft him, you say, no, we like you as like a Swiss Army guy, and you're going to be a third down edge rusher who blitzes, and in between, you're going to be really, really good with your run fits, and you have the athletic tools to be an effective coverage guy. Absolutely. If you want to pour all of your resources into all the amazing, great flashes that he's shown as an edge rusher, sure, absolutely. I'm just going to be interested to see what a team ends up doing with him in the route they end up deciding with him. But he's such a fun player to watch. I'm glad I finally got there with him. He's the first one of these archetypes of players that like I got to, because most of these guys, like these tweener guys, I just couldn't do.
Because he's just so imposing, dude. He's just so like he's so impressive when he's in space and moving. Dude, it was quick in the Texas game. I'm like, who the hell is number 8? Like I'm searching it on the phone during the game. I'm like, who is this guy? Like I can do summer scouting and things like that where it's like he had no production his first 2 years and then just arrived on the scene and it was like, oh yeah, everybody's known about him. Like
this was known.
he's just a guy. But overall, man, like I with him, I just think it's very impressive, very imposing, and overall, there's nothing much to add on Arvell Reese, but that is all for the linebackers. I will say I have another little Arvell Reese. If you haven't checked out ESPN, they did a little video with Arvell Reese and Benjamin Solak, a writer at ESPN, and he talked about Arvell Reese said it was a little chop move against who was it? Against Penn State, I believe. A little chop move, and he's like, yeah, I just made that shit up. Like, as I'm going on. So, like, he didn't do anything edge rush related in practice this season. So, for him to, achieve the heights as an edge rusher he did this season is very, very impressive. But that's all for the linebackers. Ben had to go. So, this is where I close it out for the linebackers. Not many players left to really shout out. I feel like we did a great job in the beginning talking about some of these players. Again, Jack Golday from Cincinnati missed my list. Just, again, the physicality, very limited. Interested to see where he goes from here. Just might be a pass rusher. Everybody. But we're in the rambling stages of this. This is all for the Pigskin Project. Linebackers, if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe. There will be more content on the way in with the draft right around the corner. But, yeah. And then the off-season kind of fully hits. So make sure to stick around for that. But that's all for us from the Pigskin Project.